Hey, what's happening? Jeff Pish here, coming at you for another beat of the week. We missed a week. I know it happens. I had some technical problems, and then my schedule was crazy. I had a bunch of gigs last week, so did not get back to the studio last week to get one in. But here we are now, so we're all good. Um, Before we get into it, just want to remind you to please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. That would be greatly appreciated. Today, we're going to talk about the blues. So I play in a blues band, um, and as a lot of blues bands do, we also host a monthly jam session where we'll play a set, then we invite whoever has an instrument, come sit in with us. We have a good time. It's fantastic. Um, One of the things I've noticed in the years of doing this blues jam is drummers have a hard time playing slow and sitting in that slow blues feel nicely. And it's not easy. We think it is because there's nothing super technical about a slow blues groove. But it's about hitting that tempo and being real steady in there so that whatever's happening around that can sit nicely and feel good. So often, of course, it's hard to play slow. We always want to kind of push out of the tempo a little bit. So we're going to check out the slow blues beat. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. You can see it over there. Maybe it's probably over there somewhere. You'll see it. And we're going to get into it and talk about time and how that works and what we can do as players to kind of sit in that. So you can see on the page, it's very basic. It's simple: hi-hat, snare, kick. I'm just going to put it all together. Usually with these beats, I'll break them down one piece at a time, but I think we're okay. You can see it. It's going to be a slow tempo. I'm working at 56 as the dotted quarter note if we're thinking in 12/8. So I'm going to play a little bit for you. Then we'll talk about it, and then I'll give you some, show you what I do in the blues band situation as far as improvisation goes, because I always want to add that improvisational element to what I got going on. So let's check it out. So here's your basic 12/8 blues. 3 and 4. So as you can see, and as most of you probably know already, there's nothing crazy about it. There's no crazy coordination thing that you have to work out, but it's about being consistent and sitting in that time, sitting in that dotted quarter note feel, and knowing that there's a lot of air and you can't get bored with it. When we play, simpler things technique wise, it's very easy to get bored, and then you start to try flowing different things through it, and then the time gets a little wonky. Nobody likes a wonky time. So we want to make sure we're just disciplined and enjoy sitting in the slowness, enjoy the air and the space that can be there. And there are things that you can do to keep it interesting for yourself and interesting musically. Again, it's still, I always go back to the concept of hearing the entire big picture of music that's happening in the situation so that we can improvise and support, whether it's a soloist or the vocalist, depending on how you can hear lyrical rhythms, from the singer, and hear different patterns, what the guitar rhythm's playing, what the bass rhythm is, again, with the vocal, or if there's a horn involved. The blues band I play in has a saxophone player, so I'll try to catch some things that he does and support that. So there are interesting things that we can find in there in these slow tempo grooves that again keeps us interested because we like to play stuff, but also is musically appropriate and enhances what's happening. So I'm just going to improvise a little bit. I don't have, the music going on around me. I can just kind of try to hear some things in my head to come up with some interesting things. But again, it's not going to be anything technically difficult. None of the improvisations are going to be fast or like a bunch of notes rammed together. It's about flavor and texture and just enhancing what's happening in the big picture, as I always say. So let's check it out. 3 and 4 and And there it is. So there's some improvised little tiny things. Like you could hear, there's nothing crazy going on in there, but there's a little interjections that you can offer in support of soloist, vocalist, other parts, and catch some rhythms in there. So there's slow blues, and this is these are things, again, all these beats of the week are things that I apply when I'm playing out live, because that's mostly what I do. Is I'm a live gig player. I don't know what else to call it. So these are all things that I'm doing and I'm thinking about in the live scene that, maybe you'll find interesting, or maybe you'll be able to apply it if you're a drummer and be able to check it out. So nice, easy, short one today. The slow blues. Sit in it. Go listen to some old slow blues and just hear those big, wide open beats in there. And you'll dig it. You'll grow to love the slowness. Check it out. Cool. Well, again, thanks for tuning in. And I thank you for supporting the channel. And if you would hit that like button and subscribe, that would be fantastic. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. And we'll catch you on the next one.